Good morning. We had a last minute wardrobe adjustment. Let me make sure that my settings are proper.
Oh, we can't be on high quality.
No, we've got to make our quality low. So it's very hard to do. We are a high quality operation. Oh my gosh. Well, now I look blurry and have a tree on my head. So, welcome to the Fiber Fairy. We're very excited. This has been in the works since the new year. Lots and lots to share. I want to give a shout out to everyone here at Serafina for doing so much to pull this all together. I had a great time working on the trees, figuring out some techniques, bringing old and new techniques together. Talbot did an awesome job on the video tutorial, which is linked on the website, on the newsletter. Oh, and on the website.
It is.
Kyla put it on the homepage and in the post. And production here has been kicked into high gear for weeks. So everybody's been working really hard to make all of this happen. We have as much in stock as we possibly can. And there's a few shortages, which we'll talk about or answer any questions. But I wanted to just...
You're well rooted. You're sticking to your roots.
It
gives a new meaning to their roots.
And branching out. Yes. So yesterday, as I've been working through the trees, I've been having sort of philosophical thoughts about trees, like scientific thoughts, like gaining understanding. But what I kept coming back to in the process is you have to let it be weird. Like, you can't control this, and I'll get into that more, but that's why I put a tree on my head, to just let you know, be like a visual representation that you can go there and just, like, every time I try to make a tree, I'm like, well, they do this and they do that. There's only a couple of rules to follow, but other than that, as I'm driving around, I mean, I think I even seeped into Kyla and Talbot's brains. I cannot stop looking at trees. So we have about another month to check them out before they get all leafed out, which is perfect because you can check them out without leaves and get an understanding for the structure. And then we're going to start to see how the canopies work and the flowers and all of that stuff. But my point is, as I was driving and I'm like, oh, well, there's an oak or there's a maple, or I'm thinking oaks do this, maples do this, locusts do this, sycamores do this. But then you see the trees and they're like totally going against their own rules. I don't know, like they're super wacky. They can be bent over. I saw one at Fair Hill. It came up, it went over, and then it went up again, and it was huge, and it made like a perfect place to have a picnic. Okay. It made a nice little seat. I think we could take this off now.
It's moving all around as you.
It is actually very stable. I'm impressed. So in the tutorial, I talk about that a little bit, letting go and, twist it, bend it. If you kind of make a mistake in the wire, keep it. That's going to be what gives it so much interest. So, okay, where was I? I'm all over the place.
Someone noticed the wisteria in the background.
Right.
Oh,
So
Bonnie said there was something on your head.
Yeah. So the other super cool thing is I went every direction. Except for I didn't go like mini because I don't enjoy that. But I went big. So this is the same process. Same exact structure. I hand spun the wisteria flower yarn, and I made the leaves. I'll show you how the leaves work. But you can scale it up or down. You can be true to maybe more like a bonsai, like you're actually making a miniature tree in the form of a bonsai. We the first time we went to explore it, we sat down and we were just like, how can this be? Like, what can we do? We were trying to cut. Remember, we were trying to cut fringe, almost like the woolly pines.
Mm-hmm. Out of
silk? We tried a few different
Mm-hmm.
things. Yeah. So then we realized, that's not the way we want to go. Then we introduced the wire and the feathers. The first one I made was the autumny oak, and and it is on 14 gauge wire and it's too wobbly. So then I switched to introducing 12 gauge wire, and then I made the weeping cherry, and using the same yarn that we are including in the Fiber Fairy, which I'll get to in 1 second, and just longer pieces. And then I did the maple with the green leaves, which I'd say is the hardest route to go. Because when you're working with the locks or the yarn, it's all right at hand. Mm-hmm. When you're doing the green leaves, first of all, you have to wet the green felt, which no big deal, but then cut it into all the leaves, and then it's just a little bit more involved.
Well, yeah. Making it and cutting it.
Yeah.
Actually putting it on once you had the pieces
is the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
And it's a cool look.
Yeah. And then I did the winter one, and then I played with the pine idea, which, you know, each one of them like has like a little smidge more work I need to do on them, but so I'm excited about it because of the range and the scalability, and like, you know, it's pulling together techniques that we've already used, we already know. And so it's not so much a tutorial, like a step-by-step tutorial, as demonstrating the armature, you know, but then you're just wrapping. And I did wet felt. If you do not want to wet felt, you don't have to. You can totally make a tree with needle felted bark. I really liked what the wet felting did to the bark. So let's talk about the Fiber Fairy for a minute and go through it, and then we can go back to trees. I want to say one more thing about trees. As I was preparing to do this, my oldest son decided to take a semester off from college because he's transferring. He wants to go into forestry, and he started working for Bartlett Tree Services, which is a huge national company, very well respected in, you know, pruning, tree removal, cleanup, all that kind of stuff. So he and I were sort of entering the tree journey at the same time. It was really fun. So he started at the groundwork, learned the chipper, and now he's up in the trees. He's climbing and everything. And I tried to get Max and some of his hunky coworkers to come be live today or in the tree tutorial, but my magic powers fell short and I couldn't make it happen. But it has been fun to learn. You know, he's full of puns. He's full of, you know, he's getting more and more knowledge as he goes. And I go and pick him up this evening from the airport because he just spent 2 weeks in Austin, Texas, cleaning up. They had an ice storm out there. So that's another aspect of this that has made it a really good time over the last couple of months. Okay. Hopefully, you know, we try to be as clear as possible about the Fiber Fairy, how it works, where it is, what it is. As we get more and more new needle felters, which is awesome, we need to help them, you know, get up to speed, navigate it. And we're here to answer any questions about it. We can answer any questions about trees, needle felting in general. Happy, like, just to be live and chat with you guys. So today, this time of year, we do really our biggest giveaway of the year. Mm-hmm. We do a big one in the fall too, usually, but we make it big so that we're making a big push, and we are donating 10% to Heifer International, which is pretty much an animal-based charity, global. They cater donations to where the need is and what the need is. So what works in that culture, in that community. So I like being contributing to that, and I feel like it's a great choice for Serafina. And sometimes we're able to double, so I'll have to check if they're
Someone match.
matching. Yeah, but that's what's happening today. You will receive with your order. Do you know I did not print out the the tiers. So the Fiber Fairy is a giveaway with purchase. So as you order, depending on where your cart price is, that's how many tiers of the giveaway you'll receive. So the first tier is 2 ounces of coffee bean core. And this is what I've been using to wrap the trees. And then I guess we could do the overhead, Talbot. And then the second tier is this. So I'm going to show it, we're going to have the overhead on here in 1 second. The second tier is a bundle. It's an ounce and a half, closer to 2 ounces, maybe.
2 plus.
2 plus, yeah. So this is quite a bit of fiber, and it has a little surprise inside. We have 2 merinos, bark, and did
nut?
I go with nut?
Bark and nut.
And then we have almond and redwood top coats, and chocolate tussa silk. And this is it's actually an acrylic and brushed mohair yarn. True brushed mohair yarn like this is very expensive. But this is it's a wonderful texture to get into the bark. And I'll show you bark samples in a minute. Just do treat this as if it needs some wool on top. So that will help it stick in and felt better. But that's for your bark texture. And oh my gosh, any combo, you can lean it more brown, you can lean it more gray. I did some of my trees very dark, some of them more gray. So just, realize that there's a huge range all the way to a sycamore or a birch or an aspen, which I have not made, but that would be fun. Mm-hmm. I could see the autumn locks on an aspen tree or birch tree. So that is the
third tier. So if you have $70 worth of anything on the website in the cart, you would get the core.
Oh wait,
no, I'm sorry, I have that wrong. This is 50. So 25, 50. So if you purchase $52 of whatever, you're going to get this and this added into your cart. There is no place that you need to add it, and we used to ask that you put FFF on the order. I'm just answering some questions that I'm seeing. You do not have to put Fiber Fairy in your notes. We found that people would forget, or they would think they forgot, and there was a lot of we found that we were just adding it to the orders that day anyway. So we're just adding it to every order that gets placed from midnight, 12:01 a.m. until 11:59. 12:05.
We're getting some tree puns and jokes. I like that.
There it is funny. It's good.
The third tier the
third tier is 70.
At 70 is a bundle for the green leaves. So this is the combo that I used on the green tree, and it is leaf. Don't tell me I'm an olive.
Yep.
Vibrant. I thought
green.
I had another. Oh, I guess I don't have another top coat. And then it's belted with sage tussa. So on the tutorial, I think I showed it with the hand carders. but having the drum carder, I'm not gonna lie, is very handy, and that's how I went about blending my colors. But okay, so 1, 2, 3 tiers. The 4th tier is a 2-ounce bag of, this is basically the Autumn Locks colorway, but these locks are not the same as we use in the Autumn Locks. They're a little tighter, a little crimpier. There's going to be some that are not as well defined, but we had to get, oh my gosh, I don't remember how many pounds.
Yeah.
We had to get lots and lots of locks together on these big fiber fairies. And as you know, as we have more orders, it becomes harder to do 2 full ounces of locks, but we did it. And that was another thank you to Marcia and Faith for washing and dyeing.
Jenny's in a lot of bagging.
Jenny, yes. Everybody's been all hands on deck here.
That is the $95.
Yeah. Who's Laura? Laura, did you miss me? Who's it? Or is she talking to someone else?
Someone else.
I'm just every once in a while I can glance over and catch a message. So the 5th tier is the cherry blossom yarn, and we dyed this in-house. It's the same yarn, but I purchased from a local yarn shop, which is what turned me on to the yarn. We found the yarn, sourced it, we dyed it. We did a really fun, I should have another one. We did a really fun colorway that has a little bit of cool and a little bit of warm. So your pink yarn might lean cooler or like slightly more coral. I feel like this tree really is representative of how the overall look will be. And when you watch the tutorial, you'll understand how to use the yarn. If you want to do a weeping willow or a weeping cherry, it might take a little bit more than this. But for this cherry blossom, it's perfect. It's perfect. Same with the locks. This is enough for a tree, but very, very close. So, there have been lots of questions about the yarn. I do plan to keep in stock. I'm not sure about white. Like you could do a dogwood with white, you know, so we could do white, but we are also working on a colorway for the green. And when I put it in stock, it will be this is a slightly larger quantity than this. So this is 1/4 of a skein. We're going to go with 1/3 of the skein to make sure that you have, you know, plenty of what you need for a tree. So I used this on the pine, but you could cut this smaller, do it like the cherry blossom, and do a green regular tree. You could do a weeping willow. Yeah, tons. There's just so many options. Then, this is a really fun part. The final tier at $150 is the raffle, entering the raffle. And and we'll have 3 raffle winners. That's usually what we do. Hate to have just one. I wish I could have more than 3. But we put together this little willow picnic basket, and we have a 2-ounce bark bundle that I made. It's a bat. We have the green yarn, the white yarn. I think I might have made a mistake and said the pink, but the pink isn't in here. I mean, we could add it. But
it does say white, pink, and green.
Oh, we could put more pink. We have pumpkin seed bark, chocolate covered cherries, These are awesome. These were a huge time saver. I love that the package has green on it. Yeah. So these are scalloped shears that when you watch the tree tutorial, ours are really hard for me to say, which is unfortunate with my name, but tree tutorial is a tricky one for me. It's a scalloped shear, and it does a really good job at cutting a wavy line, and then that's how I made the leaves look more like leaves and not just little rectangles. You'll see when you watch the tree tutorial. And then this beautiful tree book. Kyla found this, so happy with it. I took one home. I've been enjoying it. It's beautiful. It's full of art and stories and images about trees from all over the world. So it's not just like a North America, identifier tree book. It really pulls together tons of beautiful, inspiring information. So, and it's huge.
We're going to link, did you say this already? We're going to link this and the pinking shears on the Goods and Faves page.
Yeah. So that
I will do that later this morning.
Yes. Awesome. Get a few things out here. Sorry for the loud booms. Okay.
What is the type of yarn called?
I'll have to look. It's kind of a boucle. Like it has a little bit of, it's one ply that is plied to a thinner, thread like thing, and then it gets teased up, so it's nice and bumpy. I don't remember what the vendor called it specifically.
It's wool.
It's wool.
Oh, yeah.
It's wool. The thread is a different fiber,
okay.
So it's not 100% wool, but it's like 95% wool. So yeah, actually, even if we had this in brown, this would be awesome to add texture to the bark. Right. Oh boy.
Jean, any order placed anytime today, if you placed an order at exactly midnight, it doesn't have to be 12:01 necessarily, but there's a small buffer that we allow for international, like it can be a little confusing.
Right.
What
we keep an eye on it, and yeah. we usually give people,
if you win the basket, keep an eye on the Facebook page, Serafina Fiber Art Facebook page. We will sometime next week. It's usually Tuesday, could be Wednesday. This is gonna this will take a while, but we sort of have to get through everything, and then we have all the pages with all the totals. Everyone's numbered, and I do a random number generator, and I pick 3 that way, and then we make a post on Facebook, and I will also follow up eventually with a post about what we raised for Heifer International, and I really love shopping on their website for the donations. It's a lot of fun. In the video tutorial, do you show the draping? Why don't I remember this? Do you show how
it's the same technique.
It's just longer.
Yes.
You kind of show it with the green yarn, so you just essentially would swap it out.
Right, that's true. Yes, when I started this concept, yeah, good point. Talbot's been more nose into the tutorial than we have since we filmed it. So, yes, I want you guys to, really cut loose with this and have fun with it, enjoy it. I, as always, was working towards this goal. You can go farther than I did because we cannot, unless you're a little bit, extra. You can't replicate at this scale what is actually happening on a tree. It would be a lot of work, but you can go farther than I did. So it's just how many branches do you want to wrap and add? How small do you want to go on your leaves? That's really what it comes down to. Kyla and I were talking about things that we've learned throughout this process, and she was saying, I thought there were just leaves all over, but really the canopy is on the outer half to a third.
Yeah, so much of the tree
there's a lot of branch. That doesn't have leaves on it.
Yeah, we were all a danger driving down the road. Like looking at trees.
I mean, I literally was like, oh my gosh, Sarah, stop. Oh wait, open your eyes and look at the road. Because it wasn't even just looking at trees. It was like, I've got to stop looking at all the trees. And I was like, oh wait, but I do need to look at the road.
People have asked to see the tree, the green, and
okay.
If you pull each one in, I think people would really like to see that.
I totally just spilled coffee.
For that?
Yeah, we probably should have both. We'll pull some trees into the overhead camera. Then we can keep answering questions. We can go over the Fiber Fairy again. At this point, I think I do want to show the bark textures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to admit something. What?
I don't know.
Oh. My bark in the tutorial was not the best. And my earring keeps catching me. I ended up using one that I had previously made. And what happened was I put a ton of that textured yarn on top and not enough wool.
Oh.
And I didn't felt it long enough, honestly. The leaves need to be, because you're cutting such small little pieces, you really want to felt them well. You could even make a bigger green wet felted leaf thing. And then wet felt it, and then you could even put it in the washing machine.
Which is really well
Which is how I made the bark and the leaves for the wisteria. Mm-hmm. Because I am not the best wet felter. In a situation with pelts and skins, I think it's great not to be super felted because I can manipulate it onto the 3D sculpture. With something like this that is going to live as is, it needs to be really well felted. Mm-hmm. Okay, barks. So then when I tried again, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was like, I've got to do this again. Okay, we're ready for the overhead. I experimented more with yarn and neps and stuff. We're in such a forest.
Mm-hmm. There's a few questions about your wisteria and like what yarn you used.
Yes, we can get into that. I think some of them are sitting. That one's just loose. Sitting in that. Okay. So this bark, you have overhead on, tell me. Yep. Okay. I put neps on. I used some yarn that I had on hand. Some other yarn. It had like golds and kind of greens in it. So that worked pretty cool. I don't love the neps. Maybe if I did it more solidly, like like the turtle skin.
Okay.
I don't know that I like them randomly like this. Then this one, I don't even know what I was thinking. I love that it like poofed up in places as it felt it. I might have stuck this in the washer. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I think I stuck that. I think I did. Okay. Oh, this one I tried to pre-felt. I was messing around with all kinds of stuff. This has all kinds of yarn in it. Purple neps, which I would probably pull the loose ones off. But that could be really cool. So this one went in the washer and it got its own bumps and texture. So this is what I'm saying, like the wackier, the better. Do not make a boring tree. Like you could make a really boring tree and then you'd be like, gosh, I spent all that time making a boring tree. They're weird. Like take a look at how weird they are. Okay, so that was that one. And then this is the one that I used on the this wintry tree. It's pretty normal, pretty tame. This one's super normal. This might be what's on the pine tree. I just went dark. Just went kind of dark. So those are the barks. This is the, oh, you grabbed them already.
Yeah. Oh.
This is the wisteria leaf. Same technique as the small leaves, except we made bigger leaves and we just controlled it more because wisteria have this very specific leaf pattern.
They were each cut.
Yes. Yeah. How did we do that?
It was a big thing of pre-felt, then we cut strips and then cut rectangles and then folded them
in half and then cut little leaves. And so these are actually connected. And then the wire is twisted around it using the feather technique. And then I wrapped the wire. Okay. And then these are made with we bought a purple yarn, which, well, we don't need to grab that. There was this chunky purple yarn. I was like, that looks like wisteria. And so I bought a bunch of it, wanted to make the life-size wisteria. And then I was like, if I'm going to make a life-size wisteria, I should make everything, first of all. And I think I can get something that I like better than this look. So I spun chunky purple thick and thin yarn on my country spinner, and then I plied it with a store-bought green yarn and made what's called beehives. So these actually are the first ones. The ones that are mainly on the wisteria are better. So you get these lovely big chunks. And then I put them onto wire, same exact way we're doing everything. So it's not mysterious, but it looks cool. Okay. Any questions about that before I move on to the trees?
How do you keep your wet felted piece flat-ish in the washer instead of it balling up?
I just throw them in there with other stuff. And so you could see on that bark, it did have some bumps, but because it's getting like pushed on itself. But things, when I put the green in or the bark for the wisteria, which I should grab a piece of that. I'm trying to remember where it is. I think I put it
in the box.
I think it's actually might be in the middle room, back with my wet felting stuff on the shelf behind my yeah. It stayed flat. I mean, it didn't felt to itself or anything like that. So I don't have a technique for that because it's been coming out. And you can stretch it don't put it in the dryer, just the washer. And then while it's still wet, pull it back, kind of back into shape, and then you can press it. So that's how I handled that. All right. How many gazillion hours? Okay, Polly, how soon? I'm not sure if you're asking about the yarn or which one. I will not be selling the purple wisteria yarn. I made that myself. If I get into more spinning, I can teach how to do it. But if you look up how to spin a beehive, you're going to see people have already done tons of videos about it. So the difference between just while I'm waiting, you don't see it, Kyla?
You think in the bin?
Or on the shelf there?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Okay, that's okay. I'll find it in a minute. I know I sort of like put it away. So I tucked it somewhere, but I'll find it. We designed our courses for the annex. They work, all the course material is there. Kyla takes a lot of time to take all of that material, all the PDFs, all the information, and put it onto SD card format for people who don't have internet. I think the experience is better on the annex. There's also the newer courses, like the chats are open, so you could talk to other people and real easy to just access, jump in wherever you need to be. But the cards do have all the same information. So
they do. If you find yourself that you have online access, if you're in a place that you have decent internet, all the files can be downloaded, and then you can view them later when you don't have good internet. So
Bonnie said she's getting shivers of inspiration.
Oh,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, woolly pines. We don't make those. I get to throw someone else under the bus on this one. But we let her know all the time that we need them. So it's just not something I'm in control of. We do have several kits, obviously still core wool colors. The kits that are dependent on their core wool colors are out of stock, and we're doing everything we can to get everything back in stock. So, okay. So we were going to look at
different
specific trees.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Put that up. Yes. Yeah. So the first one I made was the this one. This Autumn Locks one. I love the size of it. It's a little, should have some 12 gauge in it. It doesn't. It's 14 gauge. I didn't quite nail down and figure out the branch, the best way to do branches, which I did figure out later, and I have been even adding more. But here's a branch you can see. So the tacky wrap sticks, I really like. You'll need those. Or 26 gauge. 32 is a little too nimbly wimbly, I feel like. I did use, in the tacky wrap sticks, you get 26 and 32? Yeah. So I did use all of those 32s, but you're going to use them just on very ends. Mm-hmm. But with the 26s, you can make whole additional branches. So more canopy, basically. I used 22 gauge a lot. Just after you get your initial aluminum armature wire, it's so much easier to add some 22 gauge because you don't have to get cloth covered wire around it. It already is the cloth covered wire. You'll see. Watch the tutorial. You'll understand all these things that I'm throwing at you right now. So I did realize, that this structure wasn't the best, basically. All right. Will you pass me the pink one?
Mm-hmm. Someone's asking about the tutorial. It is linked on the website, and it's on YouTube. It's available at no cost. There's no cost for this tree tutorial.
So this is my weeping cherry. I didn't do any green. The flowering trees usually flower first and then leaf out later. I like, this one has kind of like a skinnier trunk, which is great. Some of my trunks got a little thick given this scale. So I was pretty happy with this one. Okay. we can swap this for the green one.
Yes. Did you mention, I walked into the annex conversation, did you mention that there's some back and forth like conversation on there that we have?
Yes, I did. Yes. So this was me sort of thinking more maple, which tend to branch out, more extremely. And these are the wet felted and cut leaves that I did with the special scissors that we are going to put on the Goods and Faves page. Love this bark. It had some of this like sagey green yarn in it. Not sure what else to say about that one, but once you guys watch the tutorial, you'll understand more about the techniques and stuff.
The Weeping Cherry is a lighter color. It's not the same color pink.
Yeah, that's a yarn that I bought in a store, not the house dyed. So the Cherry Blossom is probably my favorite one. I tried to get real wacky with the, little asymmetrical with the shape of it. Love the bark. Love the cherry blossom like that. Just love the color of the pink. Feel like I got the canopy and the scale pretty good. Could use more. I feel like in general they all could use more. But like I said, it was just a kind of I've got to make everything happen kind of mode I was in. Let me see if I can get this back here. Sorry for my head in the camera. Oh no, I feel like everything's going over. It's okay. My tree hat.
That's cool.
Yeah, this was fun. It's really fun to make these are called wounds. Love this irregularity here. Could have more. I went kind of thick to pretty thin, so I could have more like medium sized, like this size branches on here. I feel like it goes a little extreme thick to really skinny, which is great ultimately, but there could be more in the middle to make this even more realistic. And then as I describe in the tree tutorial, this pine I was going kind of for a Norway spruce look. The branches swoop down, the greenery hangs. So that's what I was going for here. If you want to do a white pine, it would be really cool actually, I think, to use green locks, and kind of sweep them upwards. So these hang down, but you would do the opposite. You could do it with the yarn too. Pines are great because they just go straight up generally this kind with lots of branches coming out. But to add enough branches, it is a little bit of a pain in the butt, I'm going to say. So instead of being sort of like, up, branchy, you're this straight thing and you have to get enough more ladder type branches going on all around it. So they each have their little trials and tribulations, but so if you're just filling up your cart or curious about other things you need, definitely the 12 and 14 gauge wire, 22 gauge wire, tacky wrap sticks. I use dark ones, or wire and tacky wrap, sticky bun. We have our ever ongoing smooth brown top, perfect for bark. We've used it in several fiber fairies, so we did.
It's a great
color.
color.
It's a great color. It's great for animals. It's It's great for bark. So that's an option. Any of the fur in this, I pulled bison, mink, and wolf, but fur would add a really fun wrinkled texture. Plus, they're a little bit variegated, so like they're gonna have some automatic lights and darks in them. So that was an option. Cold wax medium I use on the tips, made it real easy, you know, just to finish out tips of wrapping, especially on this one, because I wasn't doing any foliage.
Bunny butter.
Oh yeah,
if you don't have
bunny
it,
butter.
I was helping make this one, all the add-on little branches. The tacky wrap just wants to stick to you, and if you have the bunny butter, even before you start with the tacky wrap, it doesn't stick to you as much.
Yeah,
not a big deal, but it gets all like you go to pick something up and you have several stuck to your fingers. So
the bark can be needle felted. Yep. The wet felting there's a couple of things. It creates very distinct and dramatic texture, which I really like. That's hard to mimic with straight needle felting, but you can. And because it's all wet felted, it kind of gives you a skin, but you can do the same thing with needle felting, especially if you started on a pre-felt. But just to have that skin just to cut and wrap around. And even when I got to the bigger branches, I cut the bark into a strip and just wrapped. It does, it can give you a bit of an edge, but it's not too hard to cover that up. So
yeah, you could needle for a lot of projects. People want to know, can this be needle felted instead of wet felted? Some I think are harder to accomplish, like the dragon and the mermaid. You really want that silk look, but this I feel like you really could make bark with pre-felt and really needle felting it, even getting in the mohair
and add stuff that we don't have. I mean, that's why I showed the other barks, because you might have yarn in your stash, like something else we gave away or something else that you just have, like layer it up, like get crazy with it. Observe, you can look stuff up. So, and I explain in the tutorial just a couple of rules about branches, but other than that, try not to over control. Like, just let it evolve, and you'll be happier with the process, I think.
Someone said we are out of brown cloth covered wire, which is entirely possible.
Yeah, but you can I used black the whole time. So I need to correct something that I said, and I'm going to edit my post in case you guys saw it. This is unrelated to Fiber Fairy. Marcia and Faith have been working on these Wensleydale U locks, which are absolutely gorgeous. And I said that they were going to be the new fiber art locks, but they're not. They are the new pumpkin patch locks. So that's Twilight Tendrils, Divine, Squash Blossom, and Pumpkin Patch. So I just wanted to correct those. So these will be moving into inventory soon, but they're gorgeous. I'm just, like, so happy with those.
Well, the yarns from our supply pack ties work if you wanted to work that into your bark.
Sure. Yeah, they'd work great because they're wool. They're little, like, they're not a compact yarn. But yes, yeah, definitely experiment with different stuff. Trisha, yeah.
Did you see?
Yeah. It's like, it's exciting because you could make a branch. You could just make a branch, like a wall installation. That's not, totally could make a whole tree. Mm-hmm. You could put lights on it. You could put animals on it. If you go that route and you go bigger on your bark, what I did was, I think I used pre-felt. I actually used cut up silk. Let me see if I can find that. I'm gonna let you.
I could not find it.
I'm gonna let you man the post.
Oh, the tiers. I feel like I can do the tiers.
You could do the tiers.
I could do that. All right. How this works, especially if you're new, any order that is placed today will get the Fiber Fairy offer, and the tiers are cumulative. So if you end up spending the highest tier, you get everything, including that highest tier. You don't need to add it to your cart from anywhere. There's no place to add it. You don't even have to put Fiber Fairy Friday in your comments anymore, although some people still do, and that's totally fine. First tier is $25. You get 2 ounces of coffee bean core with whatever you put in your cart. So you get a supply pack, and
Come back before you even
we'll
left.
get this. Wow,
I know.
that was very fast. Second tier is with a $50 purchase, you'll get this, and then you also get this bundle, which you put together so nicely. It has bark. The bark bundle is nut and bark merino, redwood and almond top coat, brushed mohair yarn, and this chocolate tussa silk, which is awesome if you're wet felting. The yarn's in there. So third tier is the leaf bundle. It's going to have leaf and olive merino, vibrant green top coat, and sage tussa silk is the belt. So if you have $70 worth of, this is before shipping, so $70 worth in your cart, you get all 3 of these.
How about you could add the overhead again?
$95 is this bag of autumn locks, which is enough to do the autumn tree. And
I think the overhead battery died.
really,
Oh,
and it's not plugged in.
can we plug it in or?
Yeah.
120 would get you everything and this bundle of yarn that will do your cherry blossom. And 150 is the gift basket raffle. Talbot's sneaking his way through.
Talbot
It's a
winding his way through the tripod for us to try and find the.
That's definitely.
Oh,
it
it is
here?
plugged in?
on the ground.
So now if you hit the power button. I guess that's why I chirped earlier.
Power button. Hang on.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm good at finding power buttons.
Tell the story, Kyla. We need a
totally-
story.
We get it? Look at that. I said if there was a good segue, I would tell the story. Okay, so I have a laptop. This is new to me, Serafina laptop. And the battery is a little strained. The little plug-in battery charger, it's a little touchy. So I thought it was dead. Like, it should have been on. I open it up. It turns on. It's great. Totally wouldn't open up. It wouldn't turn on. And I'm pressing this button. This is where the power button normally is. So I'm pressing it. It says turbo, but whatever. So I'm pressing it, and I text downstairs to Talbot that my laptop
Where's the
won't
turbo
turn on.
button? Oh,
right
I see
here.
it.
It looks exactly like my old laptop. That's where the power button was. So I'm pressing it. I'm trying all the things, and he comes up, and the power button is in the keys, and it clearly looks like a power button. And I was pre-pressed it, and it turned right on. It was a moment.
I
So
was
just
like,
so
oh
you all,
no, my laptop isn't working.
it was pretty bad.
Talbot's like, push the power
Push
button.
the power button. Just so you all know, I'm one of the main tech support people that help you with your questions, and I couldn't turn on my computer, so you're in good hands.
Okay. Do we have the
It's on
overhead?
overhead.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna push this back up here. So I'm gonna show the bark for the wisteria. There was a question in there. Oh, blankets. I love talking about blankets. I love making blankets. I love selling blankets. I was just going through yesterday. I have about 30 now. And I said it would be good to do another test run. I might put them on maybe do 5, work on my photographs, put them on probably the Facebook page. I mean, I guess I could. Did we do them on the website?
We did them as the auction.
I could do them on the website maybe. I'll figure it out. But if you want a blanket, if you're interested in a blanket, feel free to email us. Use admin@serafinafiberart.com. That goes to Kyla, and she will let me know. And just let us know. We've got them kind of divided into earth tones, vivid, pastels, and darks. So, or if you have a favorite color, or just if you they range so broadly from light to dark, bright to muted, vivid to pastel. So if you can give us some keywords, I can go through the pile and take pictures of specific ones for you. I totally don't mind doing that. And we had a meeting yesterday about getting the blanket website up and running. So until that happens, I don't mind working with anyone who's interested in one. I'm happy to get them out onto the laps of people. So this is the bark for the wisteria, and it was earth. Is this earth? Earth pre-felt, and a bat, and pieces of silk. I love this. I just had this gray yarn. Yeah. We're on overhead, Talbot?
Yep.
Okay. My delay is like so long. I have no real-time concept.
There we go.
So, yeah. So, obviously, I made way more than I needed. I didn't realize. I guess I could cut some up and, share. Because what am I going to do with this?
Make the rest of your tree?
I don't know. Make a whole nother one, maybe. But I could see this technique working for a birch. Because you could get lighter pieces in, but they would look kind of incorporated and irregular. So much fun. What else? Tell me what you guys are curious about in terms of questions about either supplies or needle felting in general, getting into
Trisha would like you to share the bark.
Yeah, I could share the bark. I don't know how. Yeah, fire away. I'm trying to think what else. If you have Fiber Fairy questions, if you have general website questions, annex questions, this is a great time to talk about them while we're all together, because someone else might have the same question and we can...
A few people now have asked, not only about the bark, but someone asked earlier, would we ever sell the bark, like pieces of bark, like in Prematura?
So the thing about, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about starting with in Prematura. The thing about this bark is that it is a large scale. Like, I don't know how it would look on a small tree. So,
right.
How do I make female figures' feet look pretty? Oh my gosh. That's so funny, because I did not I gotta be honest, I didn't go that far. Everything has a compromise to the scale, and that was something that I compromised on. Same with the hands. They're not super duper detailed at that scale. So you could, instead of doing the foot, the way that we do just, this is general human figure stuff. We do almost like a paper clip with the heel and the front of the foot. You still want a heel bone. I think that's important so that the foot doesn't just look like, you need that counterbalance. We need it to stand up. So keep that. But instead of doing anything folded, you could just bring the wire, try bringing each, if you have 2 legs, 2 wires in your leg, bringing one back to make the heel and one forward, and just keep that wire area, either don't fold it, just cut it, or if you do fold it, keep it smaller so that you have more ability to needle felt in more detail and more refinement all around the foot. That's how I would do it. But don't go too wimpy, because then it won't have any stability. Like if it's important to you for it to stand, then you need that structure in the foot. If it's important to you to get a lot more refinement and detail in the foot, then you can forego more structure.
Is all the bark made on pre-felt is a question.
No, in the tutorial, it's made by blending the bark bundle colors together and just laying it out. So you do not need pre-felt to make the tree. It is definitely an option.
Are you going to do the 2D hair?
I hope so. It's sort of ready in terms of, I think what happened was, in part, just prioritizing other things, but also I wasn't super happy with the last 2 that I made, so I got a little frustrated because I was like sort of trying to recapture the magic of the first one I made several years ago. So if I'm not super excited about something or like really confident in how I'm able to convey it, it's going to suffer, and I didn't want to put out something that wasn't top notch.
Do you ever wet felt with your feet? Because people get very sore and tired.
Yeah. What did I make? If I have something really big, I think I did the tree skirt with my feet. I took it out in the parking lot. But yeah, you could, if you have a deck or a patio, you could roll with your feet. But you could also, like I was saying, roll just to a degree that it's all stuck together and try putting it in the washing machine. If it's something like leaves or bark, it's not, some picture that you took forever on. Throwing it in the washing machine is an experiment or a risk I'm willing to take, because it'll get felted really well and it kind of doesn't matter how it shrinks. Oh gosh. Trying to think of any updates. We're still working with our mill and, dyers to try and get our core wool situation figured out. I'm very happy with the, what did we get, 8 colors? What the coffee bean, the new colors. I'm very happy with the texture of that wool. I think it felt really well. And yeah, whatever we do, if we can't get, cinnamon, caramel, the colors that we were having and formulated a lot of our kits and our in-house carded stuff, if we can't get those, we have to reformulate. So totally doable, but just takes time to figure it all out. Yes, washer, not dryer. Do not put it in the dryer. I mean, you can, but you're going to end up with a very small.
Yeah, Trisha mentioned the sander to help people with wet felting.
Well, she said I couldn't do it. Oh, without my sander. Okay. Yeah.
The annex purchases are not part of the Fiber Fairy offer. It's 2 separate websites. And really with the annex, like there's no address, no shipping, because that's all online. So it's for on the main website purchases. Somebody asked what the Fiber Fairy's wearing.
Oh, that was Jenny. She put that together. She's wearing a sari silk. I'll show you. Yes. I think I can just stand her up here. She looks so pretty. Get her situated here. She's a little.
She was resting.
It's kind of like kimono style, or I don't know what that's called, like a tunic style, made out of sari silk. Jenny made it. Because Jenny is our resident, I don't know, fairy, elfy, woodsy.
Renaissance-y.
We're probably using all the wrong words, but
She's like, no, I'm not.
She was like very inspired to dress the fiber fairy, and I said, have at it, because so we started out thinking more wood nymph, and then when she saw the cherry blossom, she went a little more Asian inspired, kind of, yeah.
Her top is fabulous.
So, yeah.
Are we expecting more natural locks soon? I'm not sure where we
don't
are
know
on the
what's
locks.
missing, or not sure where we are with that. Fiber fairy, I'm sorry, you're just gonna lay there and, yoga pose. Just relax.
And she's
Put
tree bathing.
toes out. Relax. Okay, I had a few thoughts about stuff. Supplies. Oh, sheep and wool. If I go to sheep and wool, it's going to be kind of a last minute decision. I have several family things happening, and so if I go, it'd probably be on Saturday. Could be Sunday, but Kyla can't go on Sunday, or
I can't go
Sunday. But if we go, we will let you guys know and do a meetup. I might be a little bit of a weather dependent kind of person. Last year we spent the weekend there, and Saturday was terrible.
Yeah, it was rotten.
Like terrible. Cold, windy, and rainy. And you couldn't even enjoy. Like, I mean, we had fun, but like when we got there on Sunday, it wasn't even warm or sunny or anything. It had just stopped raining, and it was like a whole different experience. So I don't think I'll go if it's that miserable. But if we do go, we will reach out and let everyone know we're going and figure out how to meet up. The fiber fairy is more fancy nowadays. Mm-hmm.
Nice little.
Yeah, I think you could incorporate a lot of these techniques into your 2D felting, like wet felting the bark or adding some dimensional branches or leaves. Definitely, yeah.
I missed one question.
I'm trying to
find
other upcoming things too. I knew there was, let's see. Yeah, we'll work on getting the yarn in stock. Actually, we have the yarn to dye.
Okay, so that should be sooner
to work
rather
on
than
dyeing
later.
that.
Somebody asked when the next felt along would be, which
We don't have any felt-alongs planned right now. So as we plan things, we put them on the calendar or send a newsletter. Mm-hmm. So it's great to subscribe to the newsletter. So you'll get the information. We did have some randomly unsubscribed people.
Oh, to the newsletter.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
Yes. Don't have the answer to how that happened, but a couple of people were like, I didn't hear.
Some instructors.
So we are open for in-store shopping by appointment, and we're here 5 days a week. So just send an email or call and let us know that, when you'd like to come. And we do have another in-studio work hours on the calendar at near the end of April.
Let me look.
So that's been fun. I'm here, and
April 21st.
Yeah,
Friday.
first time I only had 2 people. Last time I had 1 person. And we just felt all afternoon. So that's been fun. Let's see.
Emma's saying do a water aquatic theme 2D felt along. So if you look in, that would have been a live felt along last summer's.
Oh, the waves.
Fiber Fairy. We did do a wave. Ocean.
I'll tell you what, there is not much we haven't done.
I
mean, there's still a lot more to do, but like, we have, I wonder how many videos we have on YouTube. A lot.
We do have playlists, so there's one for the live felt alongs, or you should be able to do Ocean. Pretty sure I have it linked on the website too.
Hi, Joyce.
On the blending boards.
Yes, stinking blending boards. No, I don't know what's happening. They keep saying, you know, it was like October, and then it was December, and then it was, I mean, really, like, I don't know what's going on. We might just need to go a different direction there. And then spinning, yeah. I have to say, and I can't remember if I've said this out loud, but I want to make a push to get the blanket website rolling, so it will be not as many new projects in 2023, maybe. I mean, but then again, we just did all these trees, and so I'm kind of taking my energy that direction. But we still have projects in line, all the Fiber Fairies set up, and then the Fiber Fairies usually end up sort of inspiring a project, a new project. So like right now I'm not with a lineup of all these new tutorials and courses need to get out.
The toolboxes, we have had, we've been very either out of,
or
not
limited.
for super long, but very limited on, in particular, the Zuli tools and face aces. So in order to make the boxes, those would go in there, but then people who are just interested in the face ace or Zuli tool, who maybe have some of the other tools, we aren't really tying those up in the toolboxes until we have a plethora. So they're working on them. For the most part, if the Zuli tool and face ace are in stock, you should be able to piece together a lot of what's in the toolboxes. So
Teresa, thank you.
What's that?
She said that gives us a chance to catch up on everything.
Oh,
that's such a nice, wonderful thing to hear. Because I do love churning it out, doing more things, doing new things. Because I'm still so excited about everything that we can do. So, but I also do want to get the blanket website going. So there's plenty to do. And I wonder, so to me, sales of Zuli tools and face aces means we have new felters. Mm-hmm. So that's really exciting, that people are discovering the craft, falling in love with it. So yeah, it's a bummer when we can't keep up at times, but it's also, I don't want to trade what we're doing or using, Jeff Gaveletz, who makes all of these wooden tools in New York. I don't want to trade that, Mm-hmm. I want them to be handmade. He's pays very close attention to detail, and
he's been doing it since the beginning.
Yeah.
As far as how to find the tutorials, you can go onto our YouTube channel. Sometimes that feels like a little bit of a maze, although we have playlists now, so it's a little easier to navigate. You should be able to search within our channel. If you did trees, it should be in there. But also on the website, there is a free tutorials tab, and if you click into that, there's a tutorial series, and then they're broken down by level, and the trees are linked there as well.
Emma asks, do we look at people's orders and think, oh, what are you making? Absolutely. When we're packing, we're just like, oh, this is pretty colors. I try to guess, or sometimes you're scratching your head.
What are you making?
What are you doing?
It's pretty easy today.
Yeah. Yes. Today, Today will be good. Other upcoming stuff. Loved the sketch along. I'm really impressed with everyone's drawings. Like, that was really cool to see and very brave for everyone to do and share. Yeah, we'll be adding stuff as we go here.
Close up of the branch. Well, it's attached to the wall.
Not sure. Do you want to zoom for a second, Talbot?
Yeah, I can do
I'm not sure if Kyla might have to get up. If that, I don't know.
Right there.
I don't know when you zoom where it's gonna go. I might have to
I'm
get.
gonna loosen this. And
I might have to get up too.
Everyone's going for a ride.
Hang on. Just get out the way.
How's Milo? Milo's good. He's sleeping. Currently.
Milo's good. I was realizing that Milo is getting close to 12.
We're not talking about that.
Oh. And my boys are leaving.
We can talk about it. We can talk about it. Well, we had Finley, if you listen to a lot of the tutorials and you hear dog claw scratching,
Yes.
that's Finley, who's no longer with us, but he's there on video. Ooh, Talbot's getting good.
I can't mind yours. Why is mine so delayed?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm like actually behind or something. Oh, there we go. Nice,
Ooh.
Talbot. Look at that.
Slow
Camera work.
Oh, there's a bird.
There's a little bird.
Although we're delayed, so is it going to even make sense?
Oh, I don't know.
It is.
Don't confuse me.
I don't know. I don't know how that
The
works.
audio and video is linked.
All right, I'm sorry. How do you turn on your computer? Because some of us need help with the power.
Remember when we made fun of Lee for asking if she could film her video upside down and then we flip it? And
At
I
least
was like,
you could turn it
and then I
on.
was like, no, but then I think you can.
Not that way, though.
I don't know.
Lee's like, wait, you made fun of me for that?
Yeah. She knows. She knows.
Oh, Finley. Yeah.
Mm.
That's so funny. I can make fun of myself all day long for the power situation.
I had so much fun making the purple yarn. That was a wonderful winter activity for me. Like, spinning the thick and thin is a little stressful because you're like, like, am I doing it right? But then when you go to ply it, it flows. Like,
It's so
when you go
pretty.
to actually make the beehives, it's so satisfying.
How do you attach a tree? There's some hooks and things.
Yeah, I used hooks in the wall. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. It's like the giraffe. It wasn't too crazy. I measured the wall, I made the armature. What?
Making it wasn't too crazy?
Well, I mean, people were like, is it a gazillion hours? Like, I made this relatively quickly, right?
Yeah, I don't know how you spun that, though. I mean, if you can spin.
I think
You
when
just, like, showed up with yarn. Like, all right, let's...
because I did it at home. I think when you enjoy everything, it just is. It's like having a baby. You don't remember. Look, a piece of cake. I have my baby now. No, it was painless. Kyla, you know what? Kyla helped me with the leaves. That was
I did
huge.
make a lot of leaves.
You did. She took home the wires and the leaves and came back with them. That was wonderful.
What can you do with the pink? If you only do 2D felting. I don't know. You should make a tree.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you can
Could they go...
figure something out.
Yeah.
If it doesn't felt, you can always thread it, like sew it onto the backing.
Mm-hmm. It does. It should felt. It's wool.
Mostly wool.
You could, if you need it to be stick off, you could do it like fur, or you could just stab it right on there. No one can. That's good because I am kind of. She said no one can keep up with me, which is good. Oh, on the videos, I gotcha. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Everyone has to pause.
It's like
pause,
pause. I guess I feel like if I worked at the pace that everyone wouldn't have to pause, it would be a very long.
Well, it's like our felt-alongs that are 2 hours to make a more simple project.
Right.
But that's okay. Just pause. I made bees a couple weeks ago, and I had to pause.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it again, and then I heard some stupid joke I told, like, again. I was like, oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, the jokes. The jokes are, like, sometimes funny, but then when you have to hear them 10 times. Oh, gosh. So the pink yarn is wool. It's wool, but the thread that it's plied on, I can't remember if it's acrylic, but is not wool. But it's such a minimal part, so it should felt just fine. I'm trying to think if there's any other show and tell. We did the trees, the bark, the wisteria. Got my little chick. I don't know.
People need to make trees. Do we sell an animal color bundle?
Kristen, elaborate. Yeah, Paul, I could see the bonsai. I mean, you could get, they definitely are more manicured, and sculpted, a lot of them. So,
but
that would be fun.
In green, wouldn't you get the little
little
bit?
You could use the green yarn once we have it in stock, or if you win the raffle. This would be a lot of fun to make leaves with, because that is a little big, the scale. Yeah. But this, I mean, it would be fussy to, cut tiny pieces, but that would make awesome leaves for sure.
Making a bonsai would be fussy.
It would
be. But that's sort of the point.
But
of
you
the
could
bonsai,
even find the cool ceramic bonsai thing and put some rocks and really get the roots looking cool and make something that, you're going to display basically.
Some people asking to see blankets. Do you want me to grab a couple?
I'll grab them because I want to grab the ones that I love best. But if they want to shout out any particular colors, I'm happy to grab them.
Trisha's asking about the gallery show. I think that hasn't happened yet, right?
Oh, that's going to be end of May through the month of June.
Sarah was asked to
curate
a juried show. Is that what it's called? I don't know these things.
Jury a show.
She's wanting this question about the animal colors. I'm wanting to create my greyhounds. There's so many different colors.
Oh, yeah,
like
there are. Yeah. I'm going to
get a bunch of merinos and do some blending.
I'm going to move this. So that I have room. I'm sorry if I make a loud noise. I'm going to try really hard not to.
Any tips on teeny tiny stuff?
Nope.
Have fun with that.
The 32 gauge tacky wrap stick might be your friend, depending on what you're making.
For a model railway.
Yes. Oh, yeah. My dad does that. So this is what I call a heavy one. This is made with wool and brocade saris. So this is a heavier weight blanket. So a brocade sari is woven instead of printed, and the wool saris obviously are like a winter weight sari. But I love, like, look at that edge, so pretty.
I can do overhead. Just if you put it in front of you, then I'll switch it.
Maybe make the overhead small in the corner, and keep the front view big, because
Yeah, it's still not coming across.
Yeah.
I mean, until you see them in person.
Well, plus we're in like blurry mode.
Oh, right.
Or we could zoom the front facing in a little bit just while I show the blankets.
No, I can just put it off. To the side.
Okay. So, me figuring out the best way to photograph these is key, because there's a lot of beautiful things happening that is, hard to see from a distance, or, yeah.
Belly's making small
I hear you.
noises today. I don't know why. Yeah, the color.
You're hungry.
The color is definitely better on the overhead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that does. The color looks
You
nice.
are being cut off, Sarah. Or Kyla, sorry.
Sorry, Kyla.
I could put it on the
No,
other side.
it totally does not matter.
Go like this. Okay, so anyway, this is the heavyweight one. This is what I would call like dark, if I were put it on the website. It's like jewel, deeper jewel tones. This one, this is on soft fruit, which is I love that color, and I'm like not a red person, but then when the saris are sort of golden, then the background color comes through, and it makes this beautiful rust color, and this is really soft. Look at this part right here. So not the best, format for showing these off, but this one is crazy. This one is so fun.
I love that one.
So this sari had this, I'm going to show it this way first, had this incredible design, and then so it just has a lot of cool changes going on, and when I was laying it out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is way too crazy, like this
So pretty.
pink to aqua section, but since it's on this lilac color, or this is what do we call this? Sea mist. It just kind of blended everything together and muted it out. But this blanket is like one of the, like, some of them are super successes, or favorites, I guess I should just say. But this is one of them.
Someone asked if they're washable.
They are washable. They don't need to be washed very often, because wool and silk are both sort of antimicrobial and stain resistant. I have washed them on the gentle cycle with Woolite, don't put it in the dryer, and then actually pressing it, stretching it out while it's still wet, let it air dry, and then press it, kind of releases it back open. But really, like, spot clean, or you don't even very rarely need to wash them. They don't hold, even if you have pets and stuff, like, they don't hold odors or anything like that. This one is kind of in between heavy. It has some heavy brocades and some printed silk, but it's, all these beautiful grays and golds, like all these beautiful natural tones. this piece of the blanket was a brocade, a really special textile all on its own. So I love how that worked. And then I love this color, how the gray and the earth came together and kind of made this super cool color. And then let me see what's happening on this end, because I feel like there's pretty things over here. Oh yeah, I love this sari too. This was a wool sari, this one. Oh, and this, I love this pattern.
Of course,
that's a
there's
favorite.
a lot of questions about how they're made, which these will not be offered like in a tutorial setting. Yeah. These are going to be
I'm going to retail
finished Sarah originals.
Yeah. So these are for me to sell, not so much for me to teach the process.
Emma said the how is a trade secret. It
Yes,
is Sarah magic,
is.
actually.
This one's real soft and pretty. Cool colors. Really pretty colors.
Mm-hmm.
Love this edge. Love this like corally color, and the aqua that's in here. Love this one. So I feel like I sort of like the needle felting, all the animals we make. I think of them. This is like sort of seems like a downgrade because they're works of art and they're sculptures, but they're kind of like adult stuffed animals. You know, mm-hmm. If you're like me, you loved stuffed animals when you were little, and this is a way to keep that dream alive. And the blankets are like adult baby blankets. When I sit on my couch with my coffee or tea with my blanket, it's not just a pretty warm thing. It's like you can touch it and it feels good and it's comforting, and so in the write-up about it, I talk about how this is sort of an international affair and a melding together of the saris from India, the pre-felt is from Italy, the yarns on the edges are from Uruguay, and the locks, the hand spun, any embellishments are done here in the US. Obviously, I'm making them, and then they're all women-powered businesses, which I think is really cool. If they're not women-owned, I'm not so sure about Manos. It's called Manos del Uruguay is the yarn company. And I know that they are providing what's the word? Wages that you can live on. Mm-hmm. What the heck's that called? There's a word.
Livable wage.
Yeah, livable wage to women in Uruguay. So good company. And yeah, so they're super cool, and I'm excited to get them out into the world.
It's fair trade.
Fair trade. Yeah, thank you. And the saris, that's a woman-owned business. She's super happy with that connection. So, thank you. What was I trying to say yesterday? And I couldn't think of the word.
We still didn't come up with it.
A word that means that you're flexible, like in your skills.
Proficient.
Yeah, could be.
Well,
proficient.
I said multifaceted, but that wasn't what
it's like.
You were saying like a work word.
Yeah, it's like a work
that
word.
You could do a bunch of different things.
It's kind of like diverse, but it's not. But anyway, we still didn't think of it. People are going to try and guess for us, which is wonderful. So yeah, let us know what you want in the blanket world, and I'll be happy to send you pictures and work it out. And like I said, I might try to put a few on the page. What else? Versatile. That might have been it. That might have been. I don't know why I couldn't think of that vocabulary word. So,
Eclectic? No.
Not
Versatile.
quite. Yeah. I think it might have just been as simple as versatile.
The word is mom.
There you go. Oh my gosh.
All of the things all at once.
Well, any Fiber Fairy questions before we wind down? It's pretty, the giveaway is pretty much the fiber you need, I think, right? And then the additions that we listed were just wire, cold wax. But you could add other fiber. What do we have? I'm trying to think if we have anything. We don't have anything new today, I don't think, in terms of offerings, like to buy.
Not to buy.
No. Yeah. We were working hard on getting everything in stock.
Someone asked to see the basket.
Oh, sure. I put it
Around or?
Oh, there's another one right there. There's 3 different color baskets. One's that Loudon green color, one is white, and one is a blue and white check. So to enter the giveaway, any purchase today that meets the tiers is receiving part of the giveaway. To enter the raffle, it's a top tier purchase at $150. Those people who spent $150 or more are entered into the raffle, and then we draw names usually by Tuesday or Wednesday next week. And
if you win, it'll ship
separately.
So in your package of your order today, you would get all of the giveaway items and then the raffles.
Yeah, whatever giveaway items you qualify for will go out with your order, and then we ship the raffle winners next week separately. So we have a 2-ounce bark bat that I made, and then we have green and white yarn, some chocolate, of course, chocolate covered cherries, pumpkin seed. Oh wait, they were all different. Coconut, almond. Yeah, there were different flavors of chocolate bark, and we included the scalloped shears that are used to cut the leaves, but you might find other uses for that. And then the beautiful tree book, huge, beautiful book full of inspiring pictures, information, art, poems, facts. I don't remember. There's a lot going on in here. I've had it in my living room, and I've been looking at it over the last couple of months.
And the basket.
Which
in and of itself is cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Today is a big build up to today. So I'm really happy you guys are here and happy to finally bring all of this out into the open. I've been hiding trees in the back room for a while. Hiding parts of the wisteria. We had the wisteria up. I don't remember if it was up for the sketch along.
It was there.
It was like partially there for the last Fiber Fairy. But I wanted it, more of the reveal to be today. Trish, the tree book is going to be linked on the Goods and Faves page. So you guys, whoever wants it will be able to grab that easily.
For the size and quality of it, it's
very,
very affordable.
It's like $33, $34. So yes, I've had a great time pulling this all together. In terms of my part, everybody here has been doing a lot to get it get it ready for you guys. When you're out and about, take a look at trees, see how weird they are, all the wacky things they do. Notice different tree types, and so the stuff's going to start leafing out soon. I can see all the red maples already just bursting, and we've already had cherry blossoms here.
Down south, they're even further ahead.
Yeah.
Sabine's
So
out there leafing.
Yeah. So maybe even take some pictures. It's pretty easy to find pictures on the internet, but yeah, and enjoy.
It's almost time for us to be leafing.
Almost. Paul, the yarn is not on the website. We just have the pink for the giveaway today, but we do have the yarn in stock. We dyed it here, so I am going to try to offer pink and green as soon as possible, and then we'll consider. I was saying it also could be, if we did it in brown, could be great for the bark. But there's so many brown, like there's so many options for bark yarn. I'll definitely focus on the pink and the green first. The one thing I didn't do that I would love to try and do is make a leaf tree with the green yarn. I made that pine tree with the green yarn, but I didn't get the chance to make a leaf tree with it. So I think I made 6 trees. It's fun. It's not difficult. It's just, depending on how detailed you get in the branches, it's just time consuming. That's all. But it's really satisfying, like using your imagination and making it's like decisions, but I really tried not to put too much thought into it. So let the branches, like if you cut, I even cut my wires that I start with slightly different lengths so that they just ended up different right off the start. But if something ends up short, don't worry about it. Make a short branch, So I think overall getting the balance of the trunk size to the amount of canopy and stuff, that's kind of where the trick lies. But the work itself is not complex. And you're not, trying to make a female face or a fox face, which is, its own thing. So the work is very satisfying and pretty easy. So
people, I think, are going to have a ton of fun and be really successful with them.
Yeah.
The hardest part is probably
the foliage, all the little.
Yeah, even that though, it's the wrapping. As far as like technique and skill, I think really wrapping the skinnier wires.
Yes, it will be a challenge for people who are perfectionists, and I'm gonna call them symmetricalists. And I mean, I shouldn't say it'll be a problem. Your tree, I can't wait to see. That's all I'll say. But I did have another thought. Wrapping, time consuming. Oh, the other thing is, as I made more, even though I try to cover everything in the tutorial, you're going to figure out what works. Like, you're going to figure out which wire works best for you, which techniques work best for you, how building the tree works. Like, I started off thinking, I'm going to make all these branches and I'm going to wrap each branch with my leaf foliage wire. But really, that's not how trees work. They branch out and then, there's leaves kind of coming off all these tiny branches. So then I started making more tiny branches out of the leaf foliage wire. So that's where the 26 gauge comes in, because it's strong enough to be its own little branches. And then once I figured that out, so I was making the wire branch and pre-wrapping them with the bark color, then you're just attaching the end to the bigger branch. So you'll see. I hope you have fun.
Question about, will there be supply packs. Did we talk about kind of seasonal oodles or?
Oh, right. So we didn't want to make the trees a kit because, again, so many options, so many directions, even with the tone of the bark. Mm-hmm. So what we'll do, also in the near future, maybe even if we get the yarn dyed, we will have tree boodles. So they will be, a mix of browns, a core wool, and then locks, or core wool, mix of browns for the bark, and then the yarn. And maybe we'll include, sometimes we include wire, sometimes we don't in boodles. But so basically the boodle will pull together the colors you need to make a tree in a convenient click. And then we can change that out seasonally. So we can do a pink one in the spring. We could do a green one in the summer. We can do an autumn one in the fall, Yes, I realize I'm saying a lot of things that are they're going to be better understood once you've watched the tutorial, for sure. So, well, I hope we delivered. I hope we answered all your questions. I hope you guys are as excited as we are. We'll keep you posted on the raffle. I will keep you posted on the Heifer donation. See where we end up next week. We will be shipping our little hearts out. So it might take, a lot will go out today, but then it will continue into Monday and maybe even Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah. I always love it after Fiber Fairy when people are like on Saturday or Sunday or Monday are like, I got my order. Like, I'm so proud of the staff for every effort that has gone into streamline our shipping process. I order things from other businesses, small companies, and no complaints, whatever, but we are fast. We are fast. And
like, don't try to add anything to your order because it's probably already gone.
Yeah. Green, Laura's asking about the green. Let me see if I can read it.
Define green.
Well, this is how I started. And I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I would go this color. Like, you could go brighter spring green. I could go more pine green. But I feel like this kind of strikes the right balance. I like it a little bit muted because it works for the pines. I think it's versatile, this colorway. So that's what I'm going for, these two. Do we have another pink over there? I feel like this one's, I wanted to show a little bit of the variation. Oh, right. It's maybe right here, Kyle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one has a little bit more of that coral color in it that I was mentioning. So it's not overall coral, but it just does have a little more warmth to it. So these will be in this range. We do have a range, which I love, which is part of us dyeing it. We get to have fun with that. So. Oh yeah, Spanish moss would be really fun. I was watching a movie that was like trees just coated in Spanish moss. Yeah. That would be really fun. Purple foliage. Marcia had brought up a bunch of our fiber art locks and look at the pumpkin patch. They all have variation though, but some of them lean more one way or another. So you could have a lot of fun with other locks.
Well, and the trees can go even more like mythical, like not even.
Right. Oh wait, did I miss a joke? Laura said
she was
that
asking about the green. Define green.
Oh. I'm like, okay. Mid-value, warm, muted. That's funny. So yes, you guys, the leaves, the foliage between the yarn, the locks, and the wet felting, I think you will look around. Even like you could even do silk, like silk pieces. Mm-hmm. Like if you cut the silk, especially with the scallop scissors, yeah. There's more. There's like even more, and I love like when sort of we figure something out here and then we put it into your hands and then we see what more everybody does. So let me know about blankets. Send us an email if you have any trouble or questions with anything today or in the near future. I think we're good. We're ready for pizza.
It's almost lunchtime. Yep.
So happy upcoming Arbor Day, Earth Day. It's a great celebration, and I hope it encourages a lot of observation, because I think we just sometimes all these things are in our landscape, and we don't totally, we can't absorb everything, right. But you guys know, like when you're working on something specific, like even if it's for your house or you're shopping for a car, you're so tuned into that. You become so tuned into that. So I have been living in tree world for 2.5 months. Mm-hmm. And now I'm ready to switch gears and figure out what the next world I'm living in is. But so
we do have.
I'm passing the ball. I'm passing it on to you.
We have one new person just asking how often we do like giveaways like this, and it's every other month ish. Mm-hmm. So our next one is
May, end of May.
May.
It's on. Is it on the calendar?
March. I don't know if I added it to the calendar.
Yeah.
It'll be on our calendar if it's not.
Yeah, it'll be on the calendar.
April. We do not have it on there yet, but it's in May. So
Marge, yes, the tiers are in the newsletter. They are on our Facebook page, which is Serafina Fiber Art. On our website, Kyla linked. What did you link? The live stream and the tree tutorial.
The tree tutorial and the Facebook page.
And
I think I linked our Facebook page. That'll be up today.
Okay.
So, yes, the tree tutorial is linked right on the main page in that banner that scrolls along with it's linked to our Facebook page. That would show you the tiers.
Happy birthday, Dorothy. That's awesome. Happy spring. Happy felting. Happy creating. What else? That's all I can contribute to. I could wish you happy dinner. But, all right. Well, thanks so much, everybody. We really appreciate everybody being here, tuning in. Thank you for your purchase today, if that's what you're able to do. And it goes a long way. It goes, you're getting great products. We are supported and employed, and so is all the people and vendors that we're connected to. So, and Heifer is getting a piece of the pie today. So It's awesome, and it really, really means a lot. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.